Ian, that DC expanded movie universe is in fine shape right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in fucking fantastic shape. So let's talk about that a little bit.
There's like 14 things to run down.
No, I'm just going to run down a couple. So the DC Extended Universe, which is the competition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was basically Warner Brothers' answer to what Marvel is doing.
Yeah, at first, if you remember back when they were doing Green Lantern and when they did Man of Steel, DC Warner Bros. Came out and said we're not gonna emulate what Marvel's doing. We're gonna have all these standalone movies. All of a sudden, Avenger comes out and makes $1 jillion, and they're like, okay, fuck that Superman sequel. We're gonna fast track Batman v Superman to get this universe going.
So they do, and Batman vs Superman makes some money, but not enough to make the money back, and it gets critically
panned.
And then they double down on this cinematic universe.
Some sort of Suicide Squad.
And then they bring out Suicide Squad, which
makes money,
critically but panned. Not enough, and critically panned. Then they put out Wonder Woman. A great movie.
Very good movie.
Very good movie. I loved it.
I'd say very good before great, but very good, and it made money, and it was good.
And it was good. But the whole thing's on shaky legs.
Stanky legs.
Thank you, Fillmore. Fillmore and his stanky leg. So we get we're getting a Joker movie.
Why?
Okay. We're getting a Joker movie. We're getting a Joker and Harley Quinn movie.
Separate movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. We're getting a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, which is gonna be part of the DCEU. And much to my gag reflex, it's going to be played off kind of like a romance movie, almost comically from what I've read, which is gross because their whole relationship is kind of based around psychological abuse.
So this is going to be the Jared Leto.
That's going to be the Jared Leto.
In the continuity
and
what's
her name? Margot Robbie. Whatever.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Harley
Mr.
Quinn. Mr. J. And then we're going to get a Joker movie that's completely outside of the DCEU, using someone completely different as the Joker, and it's going to be one of those auteur-directed movies that they kind of did earlier, like with the Nolan Batman movies.
And this is the one that Scorsese is producing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, Scorsese is producing it. So that's why they're like, oh, Scorsese, let's do it.
So,
yeah, it is.
Whoa, okay, fine. Okay, so that's outside the DCEU, and that's weird, and that's going to confuse people, and that's strange. So, also, we get a Batman movie announced that people originally are under the impression that it is not a DCEU movie. Now, some people are like, no, this was wildly misreported and this, that, and the next thing, and it is a DCEU movie, and it is. It's a DCEU movie. But the reason why this was misreported so widely is because it's not going to use any threads or any relation to any current DCEU movie or anything that happens within Justice League.
So no threads, no connections.
No connections.
How every Marvel movie has at least something, some small thread.
Right, exactly. Even Guardians of the Galaxy with the jewels and things like that, leading up to the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that. This has no connection. So this could be, in the event of a DCEU collapse, be taken as a movie outside of the DC Extended Universe.
You think that's why they're doing that, or just the fact that the director doesn't want to deal with trying to connect it? He wants his vision, a standalone detective Batman movie, which I'm all for, by the way.
What the fuck's the difference, is my question, really.
Well, the difference is that it's the same universe, that Wonder Woman's running around somewhere and Superman's flying around.
Sure, but if that all fails, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know.
They also canceled the Cyborg standalone movie already.
Right. So what this shows me is that there's
been problems with the Aquaman movie too. They changed directors on it.
What this shows me is that there is no longer any faith in the DC Extended Universe.
probably they realized that they don't have the fortuitiveness, or at least the someone to guide them, like Kevin Feige for the Marvel universe. They don't have someone. There's too many cooks, and they don't have one person to say, "Fuck you, we're not doing that. This is our plan, and this is what we're doing." They realize that we don't have that.
They don't have
that one person to guide them.
You know, it's something that's cooled me a little bit on Marvel movies, even though I can always count on them being good. But they don't have a style guide. They have no effective style guide, and they have no cohesion, and they have basically no one's on the same page with the DCEU. At least with the Marvel movies, you can say everyone's on the same page.
Sure.
Everyone knows what look they're going for and what tone they're going for. DC, not a fucking chance.
And that's the only thing that happened in the Marvel universe, is that they jettisoned the Ant-Man director because he wasn't following what they wanted to do for the larger.
I would have loved to have seen Edgar Wright do an Ant-Man movie.
But you understand why. It's like you're playing in our sandbox. You have to abide by our
Edgar
structure.
would have done something very different from what all the other directors did.
Sure. I still think there's room for that.
Sure.
To some aspects.
And I would like to see that. And I understand. I would like to see. Here's my thing. If people have been listening to what I've said about DC, I think what Marvel's doing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is working for them okay. As time goes on, I get more and more leery of it, or more weary of it, I guess. I want to see the DC cinematic or the DC extended universe fail, because I think these DC movies have always done better with their own director's artistic visions.
Sure.
All you have to do is look at the Nolan movies.
And we haven't even gotten to all the Joss Whedon reshoots that reportedly are still going on. And so at first, like, yeah, they're just finishing the reshoots. And it's like, oh, no, it sounds like they're gutting the film partially. Yeah. Lex Luthor's character that's responsible for getting them in this situation has reportedly been cut entirely from Justice League.
Well, and like, let's not even touch on
that's fucking
Whedon
weird.
Being a dirtbag.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad now. I mean, say what we want about Zack Snyder. From personally, I have no issues with the fucking guy. He sounds like a nice guy. Creatively.
Who?
Zack Snyder.
No, he doesn't sound like a nice guy. He loves rape. But both him
but
and
he's not actually doing it. Or being awful. That's a difference.
Joss Whedon's a cheater. They're both awful people. But all I have to say is, Whedon did not have to do this many reshoots on Avengers.
Well, he directed. Oh, you're saying he directed, but you're saying afterwards he didn't have to do the reshoots. Well, that's what I mean. He's making the movie his own.
Yeah. What I'm saying is there's definitely larger problems with DC and Warner Brothers than there are with
Well,
Marvel.
Of course.
Yes. That's all I'm getting.
Because he saw Zack Snyder's work and he said, this is not a Joss Whedon movie.
Yeah.
What I read, they're probably even going to petition to have co-director status because he's going to redirect a certain amount of it.
I get what you're saying.
It's basically a Superman 2 fiasco happening again.
I see what you're saying.
Where
I had no idea, but okay.
Where the awesome Richard Donner had directed like 80% of Superman 2 was done because he shot it with Superman 1, and then they got John Lester in, and he reshot enough to get
Gamester.
No. Is it the same name, John Lester?
I don't know. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I didn't know Gamester directed Superman 2, but he did. But anyway, so he reshot enough of the movie to take Richard Donner's name off of it entirely, but there's still Richard Donner shot footage in Superman 2.
Right.
But that's, I think, what's happening here.
Okay.
Is that they're going to reshoot, he's reshooting enough to at least get his name on halfway. I don't know what the rules are with the Directors Guild, if it's 50-50 to get both, or 40 or 30, but that's what I read. Right? Was it John Lester who directed Superman 2? Not Gamester? Richard Lester, not John Lester. Richard Lester directed Superman.
Gamester was a savant at the age of like
3
8.
or 2 or 1. Anyway, so okay, that's what's going on here. I'll just say this: Joker's a great character. I do not like the idea of doing prequels for fucking villains or 2-hour movies for villains. There's going to be a shitty Doctor Doom movie that they're going to fucking make that I'm afraid to tell Frank about because he's going to have a stroke when I tell him. Villains.
Honestly, if there was one villain that could use a movie, it would be Doom.
No, he doesn't. I want a good Fantastic Four movie.
No, so
with
do
Doctor
I.
Doom in it.
So I mean, same, but Doom's at least.
I don't need college Doom.
No,
I don't need that.
college
but that's
Doom
what you're
either.
gonna fucking see.
Because fucking
You're gonna see high school Doom.
Venture Brothers did college Doom.
Oh, they did. I was gonna say you're gonna see high school
Yes.
Doom pining over a girl that goes out with a high school jock, and that's why Doom wants to take over the
Can
world.
we move on?
You're gonna see that.
We're done.